Yo, welcome back to another video. Now we have our new update log, Heaven and Hell update 6 for anime Vanguards. This is the PvP update as what I've been saying it is. So yeah, let's go ahead and quickly go over everything. I don't want to keep us too long. I just want to quickly, briefly go over everything. The first thing, the new units. So we have 4 new gym banner units. We have Dizzy Queen, Soul, Bridget, and Sin. These are Nature, Fire, and 2 Spark units. So hopefully the Nature and hopefully all 4 of these are really good units because we do need a good early fire unit. I'm hoping Soul is that. We also need a pretty good nature unit still. I know Delta's somewhat alright, but I feel like I just need something better than her. So getting Dizzy, hopefully she's the one. And then we have Spark units. We need good non-exclusive Spark units. Hopefully Bridget and Sin are pretty good. And then story stage, we get Alfalt from a portal, a 2% drop every time you complete a stage. Baiken, I don't know how to say their name properly, and I don't know the actual name from the series, so they are an unbound unit. And then we have Astolfo. I don't know how to say the name properly. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but another passion unit. I forgot to say passion unit for Alfalt as well. That is from the Rifts for Astolfo. And then we have our 2 battle pass units. We have Aladdin as our water unit, and we have Judah as our curse unit. We haven't had a curse unit in a while, so hopefully they are also pretty good. All right, next up we have our PvP game mode. I want to briefly just go over this because there is so much to this. So we're just going to go over the modes and the other part of it. The assault mode. The assault mode is where 2 players is battling it out, sending each other enemies tailored to their needs with 15 enemy mutators to choose from. These can be mixed and matched. Try defeat the enemy. Whoever loses first, of course, is the loser and the other person will win. Defense is the same except there is no sending enemies and is basically who can hold out. And ranked is the same as assault except there is a MMR system, so there is rankings and you can also ban units, which is pretty cool. And then lastly, we have every 5 waves a new modifier is applied to both players' enemies chosen from 3 different rarities. Before we go on to the next thing, I'll just kind of go and scroll through this so you can read it if you want. And then we also have our map pool. It is Golden Castle, Planet Namek, and Shibuya stations as our 3 PvP maps that we'll have available once PvP drops. And then it has more planned to be added in the future. We have a new PvP shop so you can spend your PvP coins. These are trait rerolls, Phoenix shards, elemental shards, and a new mount, and also essence stones. This is restocked every week, so a new way to get Phoenix and elemental shards regularly. If you do not like playing Odyssey and want to roll on familiars, very nice. We have our new story stage, Heaven's Edge. This is where we will be able to obtain the Alfalt portal upon victory. There is also a new mutator, the armored enemy. To keep it very brief, they have more damage reduction the less units you have placed because you need more individual units placed to be able to get rid of the armor stacks to be able to lower the damage reduction, if that makes sense. So more units placed, the less damage reduction they'll have. We have a legend stage. This has 4 acts instead of the normal 3 acts. So the first 3 acts are probably most likely just going to be for the evolution materials, and maybe the 3rd act will have the new familiar from it, unless this is going to be a part of the new extreme act. This is a hard act that is scaling to 4 players at any entry of how many players you put in. So you probably want to do 4 players when doing this act, but if you're strong enough you could probably do it by yourself, hopefully. But this gets you the new secret units quest item drop, so hopefully they are pretty good because it is nice that they're doing this instead of doing another Yamamoto or Igris. I feel like they definitely have changed it since doing the Dragon Ball update with Boo and his portal, which is pretty nice. We have a new Rift unit, Astolfo. Astolfo is pretty cool. I'm still going to be butchering the name no matter what I do. Alongside that, we have a Rift shop update where we're getting a temporal rift item. This lets you instantly open a rift within the current lobby, and also Boo is a new familiar that you can obtain. Now you are still able to get Yuhaba. They are going to be cycling the rifts every single week between the rift units, and then every time a rift cycles, the rift shop also restocks as well. So this is a new source to get trait rerolls if you want to grind rifts. We have leaderboard changes. Instead of getting units, now we gain skins, and the first units that are getting skins is Alucard for the PvP leaderboard, Virgil for the infinite leaderboard, and we have Saber and Lancer for our tournament leaderboard. The battle pass is the same as always, but this time we have Aladdin and Judah as the units that we can obtain. Odyssey, there is a bunch of changes to Odyssey. I'm not going to go over this, but I will scroll through this, so if you want to read it or pause it, you can. We have Shibuya map and Planet Namek map. This is most likely just for the PvP update, but this is also adding new lighting, textures, objects, and more, it says. So hopefully, I don't know if this changes the lanes per se. It doesn't look like it does, but it does look a lot nicer. It looks a lot different, so yeah, it's pretty nice. We have match invites. This is a new thing. This allows you to not need to be at like the entrances to open up and like join someone. Someone can invite you and you can just accept it anywhere in the lobby. Pretty good. Item and unit finder. This allows you to find out where items and units are from without needing to manually search through everything. You can have it automatically do it now, which is pretty nice. And then lastly, we have elemental changes. Fire no longer snares, and instead it increases the damage of other fire element units in range by 1%. This is per unit placed. So if you have five fire elements placed, that is 4% increased damage because it doesn't buff itself, it seems, unless it does, and this is just not worded correctly. Holy no longer reduces the time of debuffs by 10%, and now reduces the time of status effects by 50%. Very nice. Curse units getting a buff from 5% to bosses now to 30%. It is very good, probably pretty needed as well. Cosmic is getting changed as well. Instead of getting that 10% damage buff on placement, they now are able to cleanse status ailments and debuffs to themselves. This is pretty nice because even though a lot of the cosmic units are status ailment immune, they aren't debuff immune, so having themselves be able to cleanse themselves every 30 seconds is very good. And then lastly, we have passion. Passion is kind of alright. Increases range of other passion units in range by 2% instead of dodge chance. So that is pretty much going over the update log. Lastly, we have quality of lives. I'll just scroll through this. If you want to pause and read, you can. But yeah, that is pretty much the rest of this update log. There's a whole bunch of changes. I'm very excited to get my hands on the game as soon as possible. Currently, the maintenance is still going on, and I hope it is not going to take too long. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Appreciate it if you have watched this far through the video. See ya.